Hello, welcome to another session of Suburban Survival with Thomas Fennedy, president of NOMRES, maker of Suburban Survival Gear products. Today we're going to talk about a typical pack that you would see on at your average Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's type store that you would buy. This is a two-person emergency kit, life-saving supply for 3 days. Now what I want to tell you about in this video is why these kits, based on their claims, are not only useless but also dangerous. Okay, so we removed the front page of this, the little packing. We're going to pop these open. Again, I want to re-emphasize with these kits, they claim that 2 people, 3 days survival. Not only is that absolutely insane, it's actually dangerous. What you're doing is you're taking your loved ones and putting their life in the hands of this. So we're going to open up the pack right now. Let's see what's inside. You have, first off, right off the bat, you have 2 masks. Okay? So these masks are supposed to last 3 days. Can you imagine what would happen after probably 4 or 5 hours? It would be completely unusable. So essentially, these you can throw out the window. Oh, my favorite part. I always talk about this. Yummy. 2,400 calories of... Doesn't that sound good? I can't wait to eat that. Ah! Yeah. Throw that away. Ponchos. Basically, what do you have here? A thin plastic sheet. It's like a trash bag that you can even see through. That's pretty useless. So far you have nothing. Oh, look at this. Little tissues though. That'll help you out. You never know. So far we've seen pretty much nothing that helps you other than these glow sticks, which are good for 1 day. This again claims 3 days. What's in here? Drinking water. So you get to actually carry this whole thing of drinking water. Gets to weigh you down, and once it's gone, it's gone. Okay? Let's see what's inside. Maybe something in here is going to save our life. Well, there's a little business reply card, so you can always send something to them after the emergency, letting them know you died. Here is a survival blanket. These actually are somewhat useful in an extreme emergency. What these are little mylar or aluminum packs. They're kind of thin, and you're supposed to wrap yourself in it, and it's going to keep you warm. We do include some of these, but this is not our primary source of warmth. So. And then a whistle, in case you need to call for help. Yeah. There you go. All right, so we have all this stuff here. Let's get rid of the junk. So now that we have actually seen what the competition includes, let's take a look at the SSP. This is the SSP 0100. So you have your flashlight. We include flashlight, which is great. Sewing kit. You can actually use a sewing kit for a lot of things in an emergency. We also have a real roll of medical tape along with some super glue. We also include some good food. Real food. Suburban pack has enough food for 1 person anywhere from 1, maybe 2 days, depending on how you ration and stretch it out. And our food is real food. That's one of the key things. No MREs for us. We actually include real food in our product. And this is not just the only food that's included. We're just going to go through this pack. Medical gloves, and we don't give you 1 set. We give you multiple sets of medical gloves in case you need. They rip, they tear. You can go out and help other people. Deodorant. Why the heck would you need deodorant? Who cares if you stink in an emergency? This you can use to mark certain ways. If you have a long hike, it helps chafing. It also, you can mark on walls, things like that, if you need to let people know where you're going, provide directions, say danger, whatever the case may be. The purpose of our kit is to get you home. This is something you put in your car, it's something you put in your office. We also have air masks. These are high quality N95 masks. So they actually are very fine particulate. That will help you. A couple of lighters. You always need a lighter to start fire, right? Okay. Real bandage gauze, so you have some gauze bandage, you have an ACE type bandage, matches as a secondary source of fire, little hot cocoa, make you feel good, make you happy, as well as coffee, something in the morning, something to keep you up, something to get you going, a little instant coffee. Okay? Soap, similar to the deodorant here. Soap, again, is something you can use to mark, you can use to write. You can use it if something's jammed, you can soap it up and use it to open things up, of washing, of cleaning, of marking, using identification. For our flashlights, we include batteries, and not just one set of batteries, but multiple. So if your batteries run out, you can keep using. You have a couple spares. Candles, again, source of fire, source of heat. Now, what are these things? Well, these are maxi pads. Why do you have maxi pads? Aside from the obvious reason, these make great pads if you have a wound. Put it on, it's very absorbent. You can wrap it up with ace bandage, you can wrap it up with medical tape. All of our products, across all of our product lines, can serve a minimum of 3 purposes. So that's one of our mantras. If it only does one thing, we don't want it. It needs to be able to serve at least 3 purposes. Typical bandages, similar like you'd see in a normal pack. And then this water filter. This thing is amazing. This tiny little water filter comes with a bag, comes with a little straw. It's capable of filtering over 100,000 gallons of water. You can attach a screw bottle to it. You can attach the bag to it. You can just put it in directly into the water and suck out of a water source. This will give you your water supply from almost any source. Again, when you're in the city, when you're in the country, when you're in the suburbs, finding water is not that big of an issue. You can find it in any number of places, and this will help filter it, make sure it's clean, make sure it's safe. What else is included? Well, you have bacterial wipes. Again, something to keep you clean, something to clean wounds. You have real gloves, not just vinyl medical gloves, but actual gloves. After a tornado, after a hurricane, things are a mess. You're going to have to push, you're going to have to pull, you're going to have to open. You don't want your hands exposed. You want something that will protect your hands, protect your body. Along with that, paracord rope, 50 feet. You can use this to build a shelter, using your surroundings. You got rope, you can use it to tow, you can use it to pull, you can use it to make slings. All sorts of purposes. Always good to have some rope. Same with razors. We always include some form of a razor, whether it be a box cutter or a thin razor. Again, something just to cut yourself out if you need to do that, but that's not the only blade we include. Every Suburban Survival product includes a high quality knife, a survival knife, a steel hardened survival knife that can be used for food. It can be used for self-defense. It can be used as a spear, any number of things. This is much better than a lot of those multi-tool junk that you see included. This thing can be used to pry things open, any number of purposes. Okay. We also include basic things. Can opener. Well, why do you need a can opener? You know why? Because we include real food. Something you want to eat at home. Something that tastes good. Okay, something that comforts you. How do you cook this though, Thomas? What are you doing? How do you cook this thing? We also include a very handy camping stove. This is a folding stove. Comes with 6 cubes, fuel cubes. Each fuel cube will last for roughly 12 minutes, burn up to 1300 degrees. That's enough to boil your water. It's enough to cook your food. It's enough to do whatever you need to do. You can boil your water to make it clean after you run it through your filter. You can cook your boiled water to make oatmeal, to make hot chocolate, to make coffee, or to heat up your soup. This handy little stove, put your can right up there, and you're good to go. Light it up, heat it. You can eat right out of the can if you want, or you can put it in our handy dandy mess kit. It's a full mess kit. So it has a cooking pan, it has a eating pan, it has a metal cup. Keep in mind, if you're in an urban environment, we don't want you to loot. That's where we include this stuff. But there will be items around that you can leverage and use to survive, to get yourself home. Something else that we include as a communication device is paint. Why would you include spray paint? Again, you want to mark, I'm here. I left, danger, whatever you may need to do. This is another way to communicate to other people to make sure they not only you stay safe, you get rescued, but they stay safe. What else is in this bag? Zip ties. Zip ties and duct tape. I think pretty much you can build a car with just these two things alone. So we include zip ties and duct tape. An emergency radio. Works great. It gives you AM, FM, and weather bands. Plenty loud. It also includes an emergency backup flashlight if you need it. Solar powered or hand crank. I have not seen any of this in any other kit. Maybe bits and pieces, but not together as a complete kit meant to make you survive. We do include a rescue blanket, but you know what? This is not going to keep you warm. This is going to help. You know what's going to keep you warm? A real blanket. It's not heavy duty, but you know what? It's soft, it's comfortable, it's comforting, and it'll warm you up wherever you end up having to take shelter. And a crowbar. So just in case you need to open something up, not only do you have the knife, but you have a real crowbar that you can open up a door if you need to get out or you need to get in. You can move items. So again, we include a lot of very useful items in here. Something else, a second flashlight, redundancy. Always make sure you're prepared. Not only do we have one flashlight, what if it breaks? What if it's broken? What if you're there with someone else and they need some help? We got 2 flashlights. What if these are busted? We got 3 flashlights. What if electricity is out? You got candles, you got lighters, you got matches. Multiple ways to create light, to create heat, to keep you safe. They had ponchos. Well, you know what? We have 3 mil heavy-duty trash bags. They can be used as a poncho. They can be used as shelter. You can cut this open and make yourself a tent if you need to. They're thick, they're solid, they're not going to fall apart, they're not going to tear. All right, I'm taking one of these things. Like I said, you can see how thin this thing is. Look at that. It just rips right apart. Okay? This thing just shreds, right? You take it, shred it right open. It's nothing. You can't do that with these plastic bags. These things are heavy duty. These things are super thick. You need a knife to cut them. What else do we include? Well, of course, they included a glow stick, well, so do we. Our glow sticks work just as well. They're just as bright. Yet again, another source of illumination for you. Toilet paper. Included with the toilet paper, a couple of tampons. Why tampons? Again, why maxi pads? Aside from the obvious uses, these are great for wounds. Aluminum bottle, just again in case for some water, for drinking, for heating, for whatever you need. A real towel. Just in case, it's nice to have a towel. If you have to wipe off, you have to clean up, you can use it for medical purposes, you can use it for anything. It's a small, simple towel. It's just a basic little dish towel, but it's nice to have in an emergency. It's nice to have something like this, whether it be a pillow, any other number of uses. And last but not least, the Army First Aid Manual here. It has everything in it for practically any situation you can imagine. Almost any type of injury you could come across, and you can look it up and you can take care of business. So compare all of this to what you saw previously, and you tell me, which would you rather have in an emergency? More importantly, which would you rather have your loved ones have in an emergency? Again, I'm Thomas Fennedy, president of NOMRES. We're the maker of Suburban survival gear.